Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Federico Talks Watches. Today I'm once again answering some of your questions, such as, is Rolex going to discontinue this model? How to tell if a watch is over polished? And when is it appropriate to get another watch? All that and more in today's episode, and of course today I'm wearing my Girard-Perregaux Laureato Evo 3, a watch I haven't worn in almost a couple months. I had to take out a link and I was too lazy to do so. And our service department is a little swamped, and honestly, I just kind of forgot about it. But back on the wrist today, and good to have it back on. And also, guys, don't forget to check out DelRayWatch.com. We just got in a Tudor Black Bay Smiley. So that is the Etta Rose Dial Black Bay red on black. Absolutely gorgeous. We have the new Cartier Tank Le Must. We have the blue and the red version, both completely unworn, and the cheapest available on Chrono 24. And we have an Omega Seamaster ceramic bezel, the one before the laser-etched wave dial, the one with the flat dial. Those have a lot of fans as well, and it is available at DelRayWatch.com, the only place a watch geek should consider buying a pre-owned watch. Anyway, guys, these are the questions you asked on my Instagram account at Federico Talks Watches. The picture goes up when I want you to ask a question. Once I have enough questions, I take it down. Please do not DM me. And in no particular order, we start with Fran Esposto. Hey Fed, happy to hear how successful Del Rey Watch is getting. Thanks, Fran. How do you justify when it's appropriate to get another watch? I always find myself getting the itch for the next piece, but always talk myself out of it. What's been your strategy to decide when to add something to the collection? Well, Fran, there's two things that hinder me getting a watch. Money, and do I have too many watches in my collection to wear? Even if I was a multi-billionaire, I'd still wouldn't have a collection bigger than, say, 10 pieces or so, because I want to wear all of them. I don't want to ignore them. So in terms of money, well, listen, I don't really have a financial formula. I just need to comfortably afford it. If I'm, let's say, and this is totally hypothetical numbers, if I have $100,000 in the bank and I'm making $20,000 a year, and I want, $20,000 a month, and I want to buy a $20,000 watch, well then, it's a little tight, but something $12,000 to $15,000 I can probably afford. I just check how much money do I have, and can I be able to buy it without it affecting my business and my finances in any way. If I can do that, well then I buy it. And also need to make sure there are enough, there's not too many watches in the collection. I wish I had more scientific formula for you, but honestly it's just, can I swipe the credit card without feeling the pain? And anybody that tells you that it should hurt is just financially irresponsible. Cron0711. Love your videos. By the way, you need a new intro. That's not you anymore. Thank you. I'm actually going to work on that, but I figured I'd lose a little bit more weight until the whole entire intro changes. Question. Is Chopard LUC the next top brand? I don't think so. And that's good, because I love Chopard LUC. They make some beautiful watches with some beautiful finishing, and yes, while they're expensive, they can be had for some beautiful pricing. I don't want them to become super popular, at least not until I own a few of them, and I still haven't, I've owned one, but I don't currently own any. I love Chopard LUC, but I think the market is a little bit fickle, and it's still undiscovered. Arvind Nair 10. Hey Fed, how's it going? Pretty good, Arvind, thanks. Besides the Reverso, what would be your JLC of choice if you ever went to the Oscars or Grammys or some other big award ceremony? Well, the Reverso is the right choice. But if not, you go with the JLC Master Control or the Master Ultra Thin. In rose gold, massively thin manual wind movement, time only, no sub-seconds with a cream dial. Boy, is that watch sexy and massively elegant. Josh 96 Brown. Do you think the Rolex Milgauss will be discontinued soon? Yes, I do. 2 of them have already been discontinued. The 2 others that are not discontinued are more impossible to find than other models. They're just getting very few out there. Have I been wrong before? Yes, but all the signs point to it being discontinued between the supply, the fact that previous models with different dials have been discontinued, the fact that it's not massively popular at the moment, and that, even though it's the easiest sports model to get, They're really hard to get at the moment because Rolex is shipping out very few, and I think they're just trying to fulfill the last orders they have. 10x Sean, a good friend of mine. Hey Fed, given the raging popularity of Richard Mille, why isn't the tonneau case more popular? And why hasn't Frank Mueller seen a resurgence in popularity? I do think the tonneau case is reasonably popular. It's just not many brands do it. RM does it. Girard-Perregaux used to do it. Frank Mueller does it, as long as the other Frank Mueller brands like Custos. Patek has a couple. I think it is decently popular. Why hasn't Frank Mueller seen a resurgence? Because, excuse my language, they screwed everybody. The master of complications selling modular ETA chronographs for $25,000 in steel cases. That era is stupid. We have the internet. Clients are not moronic. And Frank Mueller basically robbing everybody with their 82,000% margins is over. And the company's mismanaged, run into the ground, and can be easily gotten massively discounted. Now, I don't think all Frank Mueller is bad. They've made some beautiful pieces. Frank Mueller himself was a very talented watchmaker, but the bulk of their business was just mediocre, overpriced watches that were sold to the wealthy who didn't know any better. As far as my take on Frank Mueller, good riddance. DJ BR. Hey Fed, how's the Porsche doing? Is it a stick shift? It's great. I got about 3,000 miles on it, even though I did already get a flat, and changing the tire is nearly impossible because I have the center lock wheels. It is not a stick shift. It is a PDK. I drive in Miami in traffic every day. I didn't think a stick shift would have been comfortable, but I am thinking of getting a second car because the Ghibli is going. So I own the Porsche, the Maserati's leased, the Maserati's leaving. Obviously the Porsche is mine, and I'm thinking of getting another car with a stick. Rafa725. How can you tell if a watch has been overpolished? Well, Rafa, the truth is 99.9% of people can't. And there's no real way for me to teach you. It's experience. You have to have touched that model of watch many times, know the geometry of the case, in which case, if you know that watch very well, then you can see maybe some rounding of the edges. You can maybe see some improper finishing. Maybe the lugs are not symmetrical. People always ask me if a watch has been polished, and the truth is, unless it's been over-polished, it's almost impossible to tell. And to over-polish a watch is not usually once or twice, but you need to polish it many, many times, unless your polisher has a heavy hand. So one of the most annoying questions I received is, hey Fed, has this watch ever been polished? Yeah, probably. Of course it has. If it was an unpolished watch, I'd be selling it for 10 times the price I'm asking. However, it's not unpolished in my opinion, but it's just one of those things. People overestimate the effect of polishing, and unless you know what you're talking about, don't worry about it. Honestly, don't worry about it. Most people cannot tell. But how can you tell theoretically? Listen, the rounding of the edges, improper, like if the finishing is not perfectly straight or linear, if pieces of metal are symmetrical. So if you have, two parts are supposed to be symmetrical, maybe one is not symmetrical because it's been polished a little too heavily. Those are the telltale signs. But unless a watch is really effed up, probably won't realize. Anyway, guys, that's it for today. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Really does help. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more content. And for my American viewers, it's Thanksgiving in a couple days. I hope you have a fantastic holiday. Thanks so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.